Hey guys, it's Mercedes here with WakesetGO. I'm excited to talk to you all today just about some of the things that I've learned on my journey to self-awareness and self-improvement, which I know is what brought you all here today that are following WakesetGO. I am all about charging up the CEO in you, and I'm just excited to tap into what helped me out in my 20s, which was the Four Agreements. If you guys have not heard about this book, it's a really great quick read that will surely help you out when it comes to making decisions and making moves in life. I know it definitely helped me tremendously when I was in my 20s. I would take on a lot of different things, say yes to a lot of different opportunities, and just tried a little bit of everything, which is what you're supposed to do. And I learned so much about myself, especially about the fact that I had absolutely no boundaries, absolutely no sense of self awareness to know what my bandwidth was, and also to know how important it was to be impeccable with your word, which is one of the four agreements and one of the most important ones, because having integrity, being able to make commitments, and when you're making commitments in business and you're starting your entrepreneurial journey, it's really hard to get trust in general from people. But once you do start building relationships with people and finding clients, it's important to have their trust. And how do you get trust? From keeping your word, keeping your promise, keeping your commitments, not saying you can do something and not doing it, or not following up and not communicating that. And some of the strategies that I learned just from the results of those lessons were to communicate effectively of what your strengths are, and not necessarily saying to turn down opportunity because of imposter syndrome because you think you're not good enough or you're not perfect. No, I'm definitely not telling you that. But at the time, I was taking on photography, I was doing video, I was doing graphics, logos, pretty much one stop shop, just me. Of course, now, me today, I have a team, I know how to delegate out things, and I know how to also communicate what my limits are, just because I know what it's like to be stressed out with deadlines that you communicated and told someone. So by telling people, okay, I can do this, but I'm going to need a week or 2 weeks to do it, lessens not only stress off of you, but also allows the other person to feel like, okay, I can trust them because they gave me clear information on what they can do and deliver, versus saying, yes, I can do that, and over promising it, yet not being able to come through on it. So telling someone, oh, I can do this graphic for you and this video, but giving them something that just wasn't good, it cheats them, and it also cheats yourself from being able to have a relationship where you get those referrals, which, as we know in marketing, it's important to have a great solid brand that gets referrals. And again, this is something that takes time. Once you do figure out how to communicate it, you get better at it. And also, you know what your strengths are, you stay committed. So if your thing is writing, and of course, sometimes you start off the thing today is to manifest, and that may look a little delusional to some to just say, I'm a great writer, I'm the best writer. But that type of delusion is the type of motivation sometimes you need to actually believe and get started, to actually start writing good things. And when you keep writing every day, even when you don't feel like writing and showing up, that right there is you continuing that promise you made to yourself to be a good writer. And you build that trust with yourself just like you do with other people when you're being kind to yourself and you're being kind to what it is that you want to do, and not stopping there. So being impeccable with your word covers so many things. I mean, it's not just about what you tell others. Like I said, it's what you tell yourself. And that will ultimately affect what other people see. Just like some of your greatest athletes, Kobe Bryant, I mean, He used to always tell people, he was the greatest athlete, greatest basketball player. You can just tell from the way he shows up and how much dedication he had on the court. I mean, who else is going to put in that much work and show up day to day, even when you're not motivated? Even when you lose games and you miss out on shots during practice, you still show up. That right there takes a lot of discipline. I mean, I'm just even thinking back to Michael Jordan. They would say in high school he wasn't the best player, but then next thing you know, he's the GOAT. He kept playing. He didn't just stop after he experienced failure. He kept going. And that's why so many successful people today are where they are, is because they kept going. They didn't listen to the negative person in their head. They listened to the delusional side of yes, the positive side. And I know when people say that can have effects on you too, but it can get you to that next level when you actually believe and you have the discipline to match it as well. And the discipline and self control to know what those boundaries and limitations are, too, of course. And we can all agree that having those boundaries can help you to not be stressed out and to also give love to yourself as well. Another thing, my biggest takeaway, I think, is seeing that guy that's on Instagram. I don't know if you guys have seen him, but he is on number 379, I think, of taking ice baths. And that takes a serious level of commitment. And seeing people do stuff like that where they actually are showing consistency, they're showing up, and you remember them by those actions and by those things that they do. That's a part of it. So just telling people you're going to do something, that's one thing. But actually showing up and being committed and doing it, that's another thing. So I look forward to seeing how my WakesetGoers goers out there are showing up and what you're doing to stay committed and actually being consistent and being disciplined. When the motivation's gone, when there's no more inspiration, what is it that you're going to tell yourself? And what is it that you're going to show yourself that you can do? And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. All it is just you trying and showing up every day, whatever feels genuine to yourself, and you being the most authentic of yourself. And again, it takes time, it takes practice, but knowing from the person I was to today, being able to communicate, being able to have those boundaries, being able to learn discipline is something that works wonders. So, hope you guys are able to take advantage of that and be impeccable with your word.